Hello and welcome back to another episode of Kerbal Space Program, where I'm just about to launch one of my solar orbit training vessels on a mission to Minmus. Now, you may be asking, why does it go to Minmus? Well, I made a couple design changes to this craft and built a new version of it, version C. And so I want to use up the already built vessels. I think I have 3 in stock, minus this one, so still 2 in stock. And I found a couple 3 Kerbal tourist contracts, one of which is going to Minmus Station. Keep them there for 4 hours and bring them back. This vessel should be reasonably capable of this, so we just use him for this. And I will show you the changes I made to the vessel a little later in the episode. Also aboard is Stakeout, one of our pilots who for some reason has not gone anywhere except for Kerbal in orbit. I will have to check whether she's not on my list of Kerbals to go for a solar orbit training. Not sure why, but it doesn't really matter. We will just take her to Minmus now, maybe even land her at Minmus if the fuel permits. We will see about that. But we should have plenty of fuel actually. And let's accelerate this a little. Trajectory is looking good, a little high, but that's okay. Relative inclination 0.3. Well, it's okay. We can do a small correction. I'll probably do these corrections and capture anyway offline, off camera, because you've seen them plenty, but I want to bring you in at least for the launch. Oh, okay, let's see, actually let's slow down, and we have 341 meters left, which means we probably want to dump a little fuel before, oh actually, fairings go, dump a little fuel before completing orbit, because I don't want to leave this stage in orbit. And our booster is recovered as always. Now we need 349, so yes, we dump a little bit of fuel. So we get down to about 290. Dumping speed is okay. Let's say 300, yeah, like this, okay. This should drop the stage when we're about maybe 20 kilometer periapsis or something. I don't know. We will see in a second. Let's go. And 0.2 degrees relative inclination is also quite acceptable. And there it goes up, whatever. Let me quickly check on this. Where's this debris? A lot of debris now. Hello. That's the fairings, okay. And this one is in a -5 kilometer orbit. Excellent. Now let's go back to Minmus. Excuse me. Moment transfer to target, and let's fine tune it. Oh god, the moon. Do you have to be in the way? Let's try this in an orbit later. No? Okay. Still the moon in the way. Let's see. So our node is there. Delete. Let's try to add a maneuver that not this. Let's say here. And let's try again. The moon is still in the way. So let's delete this one, move this up another orbit, and let's try again. And the moon is still in the way. Jesus. That's interesting. Yeah, let's see whether we can maybe fix it even without having to wait. Although we are, yeah, that will kick us out of playing badly. Because we are coming in at an inclination and the moon is at 0 inclination, means we are going into pretty much a polar orbit around the moon, and then to see it just kicks us out. So let's see. We would even have another encounter with the moon. Isn't that great? Okay, I'm not doing this. Add a maneuver. 1, 2, 3. Create node. No encounter with the moon. Excellent. Tourist will just have to wait for a second. And we will take care of just bring this to about there. Okay, excellent. So this maneuver is in 2 hours. Well then, maneuver in 2 hours. I don't care. You get to enjoy the view of Kerbin for 3 orbits, tourists. So this is actually close. Let me rename this so that we will remember that this is station tourists ship accept TMI close. Okay, Space Center. Maybe we'll just do a couple launches in this episode, because I also have, well, that's the next one that is it's already on the pad, but the pad is still reconditioning for 1.5 hours. I have a Moon Tourist B at launch ready at pad Charlie. And I could also roll out to pad Alpha, but yeah, whatever. Now, for the missions, we have active flyby of the moon with 2 tourists. That's what the Moon Tourist is for. And, oh, I should have, well, anyway. Where is the other one? 3 tourists to Minmo Station, 3 tourists to Moon Station. So, flyby of the moon with 2 tourists, Kelne, Stelwick. And they need a pilot. Let's check out our pilots. XP is available, Agavin is available, Elgard is available. Clearly, you have not been in moon orbit. And okay, clearly you will do the moon flyby. Let's launch. What was the name of these tourists again? Kelne and Stelwick. Kelne, Stelwick, go. I'm pretty sure we will have a decent... Oh, no problems encountering the moon. It was being quite insistent on being visited. There we are, not a direct injection, but whatever. Launch, clear that. Staging should be good on this rocket. Until stage 2. Engage. We have... Yeah, should be clear with this stage. Doesn't matter. Let's go. Now, I hope it's not too loud, but let's see. So our moon orbit vessel is actually, it has these round caps, not pointy caps, and quite long solid rocket boosters, and the solar orbit vessel used the same first stage with the long solid rocket boosters. For the version C of the solar orbit training vessel, I shortened this stage a little because the second stage, the one with the standard long tank and a regular engine, stays the same, but the ship itself actually got lighter. I found ways to reduce mass a little bit. This reduced overall cost of the vessel by, I think, about 10%. Doesn't really matter, but so from 19,000 something to 70,000 something. And one thing that has been bothering me a little, the upper stage engine, or the orbital engine for the ship itself, had a thrust to weight ratio of over 1, which is just not typical for OMS systems, so I used a smaller engine there. I first tried to use the 200 kilogram 20 kilonewton engine, which we also have from, I think, the IES pack. But that one, actually the model has a problem that the thrust vector is slightly offset, so it will, just the engine itself, by the way it's the model is built, will always cause some torque, not a lot, but it's not making me happy, so I went for an even smaller engine, and we will have a look at that just after this launch. This is going slightly below trajectory, but still okay, as usual for this vessel. Time to apoapsis is increasing decently, and let's not forget to jettison the fairings this time. Because this one actually is designed such that the lower two stages are just short of reaching orbit, so we don't even need to pump fuel or jettison fuel. Well, in a real rocket you would just program this into the computer to not burn all of it, but in KSP it's easier to dump a little fuel. Otherwise I would have to interrupt MacJab doing the circularization burn and shut down the engine, stage separate, and yeah. Well, let's see, we may need to do the same here, right? No, that's... we will need more than that for circularization. Let's look at where we are. Oh god. Definitely need to clean up all the debris soonish. Oh, that's us. Okay. Let's see. That's Moon Flyby Tourists. Rename vessel. Moon Tourist Flyby. Accept. And let's accelerate. A bit of this. Just after I'm using this second stage, and then the third stage will bring us into orbit, will bring us into moon insertion, and I don't think we have enough to land on the moon, but we will see. If we grab some fuel from the moon station, we could even land. So that's... second stage is already dead. Oh, that's the second stage from the Minmus launch, and that's the first stage from this launch. Okay, well then, let's plan a home and transfer. Let's have a look at the moon and fix the maneuver. We can remove a couple of meters per second there, then burn a little earlier. That's about okay. And let's assume on station 48, 49 kilometers sounds like a good burn. In 8 minutes, let's go. Actually, let me check something. We're at 0.8 inclination, but we could possibly even fix our inclination here. Well, not that we have much to begin with. Where can I get an indicator? I don't have an indicator for the inclination, that's bad. Let's maybe try to use this. Ascending 0.6. 0.6. Well, not going to tell me I don't have an ascending node anywhere, right? Oh, we are back here. Okay, let's see what happens if we... No, it's just getting worse. Okay, never mind then. I thought we were close to our ascending node here around Kerbin. So we could have done a little bit about it, but never mind. That's the second stage from this launch. Old design with all of the orbital achievement, RMA, engines. The other reason why I want to use the solar training vessels to send a tourist mission to the moon is because I want to do another re-entry test. As we noticed, the re-entry with the solar orbit training vessel is a little hotter than the one with this one, and the only reason that I can figure out, apart from slightly higher mass of the vessel, the ship here, is that this one is really aerodynamically much different from the streamlined design of the solar orbit training vessel. And so we need to learn about that a little more. That's alright for a burn. And let's see. Do we want to meet with this station and land on the moon? I don't think I want to. Clearly, what stats do you have? You have landed. Oh, right, you're scheduled for a solar training mission next. Well, the next after. I don't know. This doesn't have any scientific instruments, so it's no use to land on the moon. Okay, let's just add the maneuver here. Do a circularization burn, add periapsis, please. Create, delete this one, and we don't even need to target this station because we will not. Do we want to visit the station? I don't think so. And after that we will plan our return burn. Oh, we will plan for this after. Okay. Let's go back. And we need to be a little careful if we launch the tourists to this station that we are not interfering with this re-entry in 1.5 days. Let's see, what about reconditioning for another hour? Would get pretty tight. I think we can manage. Oh, no need to. There's a couple of re-entries coming up. We'll see. So, anyway, I wanted to show you the changes to the vehicle. Let's load the old one first. B. So that's B. Pointy first stage with 4 meter and 3 meter solid rocket boosters on the first stage. Then standard second stage. The third stage also is the same. And on the top we had this one. Basically, the reaction wheel up there I removed, not necessary I think. At least for the solar missions, definitely not necessary. I also removed the battery, we will see about that in a second, because we have plenty of charge in here, unlike the ships which only have a capsule which does not have so much charge. The main differences will be here in this section. So the tank, originally a 875mm tank, and this Galaxy engine, I really like the looks of it, but it's totally overpowered for this stage. As you can see, 1.6 to 2.1 TWR, that's way too much for this, unless we want to land on Tyler or something, for which it doesn't have enough fuel. So don't save, and let's have a look at the C version. I have a second one with slightly longer, where I kept the tank, but let's not skip ahead. So let's start with the ship itself. Yes. So as you can see up here, I removed the reaction wheel. We have reaction wheels here and in the probe core, so that should be plenty. I changed the life support tank to take the place, basically just the shape a little bit, so it gets flush with the 0.625 diameter of the upper parts. Remove the battery. The battery is now in here. I removed a little bit of supplies and added some charge there. We have plenty of charge. Let me remove this for a second. 800 electric charge, that's a lot. I shortened the tank to 750mm and of course replaced the engine with a much weaker but perfectly reasonable 0.2 TWR, so about 2 meters per second acceleration engine with slightly more delta V still in this upper stage because overall mass reduction. I actually replaced the the antenna we had. We had the communitron all the time, which is always active, and I replaced that with one of the whip antennas, I believe this one. It just gives us a lot more range, but it has to be activated, so we cannot launch this for robotic launches, for autonomous launches. Now, all of this leaves a little bit more delta V in this stage, but overall it's the same. That stage is the same. However, these tanks got down from 3 to 2.5 and from 4 to 3.5 meters. I reduced the thrust a little, so we are still at 1.5 launch TWR. That's a lot, but yeah. The longer version just has the original .875 tank here, and I think slightly longer SRBs, just that we keep the 3,600 meters per second in the first two stages. That's slightly more than we need, but we can always dump a little fuel from here. And overall, just shy of 6 kilometers per second. The longer version has 6.1 kilometers per second. So that's the major changes I did here. As I said, slight cost reduction. Let's look at the actual cost with the full fairings. Original one had 19,277 credits, and this one is down by about 1,500 credits. I still have the screwdriver in here. If we wanted to reduce cost, that's a 650 credit tool, which we do not need. Okay, so that's all the changes I did there. Just wanted to tweak it a little bit. The major effect is also that the mass of the ship, the top stage ship, went down from about 2.5 to 2 tons dry mass. So that's quite a significant change for our re-entry profile, and I think that was the major driver behind me doing those changes. Now let's have a look. These two are reconditioning. I have scheduled 3 of them to be built right now, and a lot of spare parts are still in the progress of being built. Let's see, we have a lot of these curve in orbit rescue ones, and a couple more of Moon Tourist B. Let's fast forward. This is in 1.5 hours. And this one is going to the moon. Okay, so recondition Baker walk there. Should be okay. Let's launch this one. Who are the tourists who want to go to the moon? Visit tourist moon station. Kados, Sambury, and Sivan. That will be interesting to remember. Anyway, it's the last 3 one. You need a pilot for them. Oh, let's have a look. Pilot. Here. You haven't been to moon. You have also not been to the moon. Lisbro is actually scheduled for our next solar orbit training, but it's a pretty good chance to just go to the moon for a couple hours, so we will just delay the next solar training. Right? Yeah, we can do that. So Lisbro will get the honors. eBay, solar training, clear all, Lisbro, and the last 3 from the list should be the correct ones. Let's go. Hello there, Moon. I think we are a little too early for a direct injection, but let's see. 84, engage autopilot, stage 2, and let's go. Let's double check Lisbro. Yes, she has not been to the moon. Okay, let's get the UI back, just so we know what's happening. We rarely ever look out to the south, so why not? Age separation. Okay, let's see. If we want to go for a direct in... No, we can't. We would need apoapsis to be right about here. That's not going to happen, I think. But we should be able to squeeze it in before this re-entry. Fairing deployment coming up next. Hey. Yeah, as I said, these are still the old ones with the heavy engine. And I think that's 400 kilos, the new one is 50 kilos. This thing is 60 something kilos, so you can guess where all those mass savings are from. Actually, let's check where is, yeah, that's too early. Okay, first stage recovered. $335. Let's see. But I assume we will need to dump a little, yes, just a little. Okay. And let's go. We will need a quick home and transfer after that, not a lot of time. That's good enough. Great note. Have a look at the moon. And let's see. We need to remove a couple from this. Attention to this. Okay. Remove another one. Okay. And let's select the station. And this. And now let's just bring us inside. Excellent. Execute next node. And rename the vessel. This is Moon Station Tourists. Accept. Now probably to dive for a screenshot. Let's have a look at our transfer. Wow, that's a lot of inclination. And actually, I would like to dump this stage into the moon. 230 meters will not be enough to circularize, I think. Let's see, circularize, not apoapsis, periapsis, create, delete this one. Yeah, it's not enough to circularize. We have plenty of fuel in here to circularize and do all the maneuvers. So what I will do is go prograde, burn so that this stage hits the moon, like this. Now turn retrograde, separate the stage. That gives the stage a little bit more kick and brings us back right into an almost correct periapsis at the moon. We will use a tiny bit of RCS to bring this down to 48 something kilometers. Well, that's good enough. Jesus, we really have a bad inclination. Okay, that's enough. Periapsis 48, station there. Let's plan our circularization burn and delete this one. So let's see, station is here, over there, so we know what's happening. And now tune this so that we get an encounter. Approximately like this. And we will need to fine tune this a lot. So let's, yeah, I'll just leave it like that. And that's in 1 day, 2 hours. Let's see. The burn itself is in 1 day, half an hour. This one, however, is not making me happy. So what I will actually do, make this a 2-orbit rendezvous instead. So we will bring this, basically take 2 orbits to phase with the station, which will also bring the rendezvous slightly closer to this node, which is good. Yeah, like this, and we will take care of that afterwards. That's 2 hour 50, excellent. We can remove, actually move this one here. Well, we will see. Good. Let me check the time. We're right about at 40 minutes. So I will, well, I will split the episode here and get some food for myself and resume recording with the next episode after that, and I will see you hopefully in the next episode. I think we will just perform all of these burns and pick up the re-entry. We should be able to do the TMI burn, the flyby circularization, and return the tourist circularization. Well, the capture burn is this. Capture, if I could spell. And this re-entry maybe in the next episode. So thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye bye.